Hello everyone. So in this session we'll be discussing about program 1 of operating system laboratory. So now let us look at the problem statement of program 1. So which says that to develop a C program to implement the process system calls such as fork, execute, wait and the create process and terminate process. So here we need to execute system calls such as fork, execute and a wait. So before going to the execution part of system call, so now let us clearly understand the definition of system call. So the system calls are nothing but they act as an interface. So by which a user program can request a service from the core of the operating system called a kernel, right? So as usual we'll be starting with the header files. So we are using four header files, that is stdio.h for printf and scanf. So next we are using unistd.h, so in order to include the system calls such as fork, execute, wait and so on. So next we have system/types.h, so in order to include the data type for child pid. So next we have wait.h, so which is usually used by a parent process. So we know that the actual execution of the C program starts with the int main function, right? So here we are declaring the child process id with the help of a data type called as pid, so it should return the value of this child pid. So next, for creation of a child process, we are checking against three return values for fork. So here, if the fork value is less than 0, so then fork cannot be executed. That is fork failed. It is an error condition. So if the child value, the fork value is equals to 0, so then it says that the parent process can create a child process. So if the value of the fork is more than 0, then it says that already there is a running child. So we know that if the child PID value is less than 0, then it is a error condition. So the fork will fail. So it will throw the unsuccessfulness of a program by return 1. So we know that the value of return with two binary values 0 and 1. So where 0 state that the successfulness of a execution of program and 1 indicates that unsuccessfulness of a execution of the program. So here we are in the phase of creating a actual child process. So if child PID is equals to 0, then we know that there is no existing process, so one can be created. So once the parent process has created a child process, its ID will be written. So next is the phase where we execute the execute system call. So this execute system call, as we all know, child process will gonna replace itself by the one more new process called ls minus l command. So we know that in command based operating system, ls minus l defines that in order to list the list of files. So after executing this command, so now the child process should come out of the loop. So right, so before that, so we need to know about one more error condition, that is execute failed. So if it is not able to execute this command, then obviously execute system call will gonna fail by writing return 1. So else it will execute the system call and it will come out of the loop. So once the child has come out, so the parent process, so which is waiting in the back end for its child, also joins the child process, and the status will be saved here in the status variable, and both will come out of the loop by writing return 0. So we just state that the successfulness of the program. So I have executed this program in online C compiler. So now let us look at the execution part of this program. So this is how our program look like. So when I run this program, so here you are able to see, right? So we have parent process and the child process. So parent process has created a child process. So child is replaced with the one more new process to execute ls minus l command. So we know that ls minus l it is used to list the list of files. So it is listed two files, so with the three permissions. So we know that there are mainly three permission: read, write and execute permission given for different files. So and also there are three categories like user, group users and others, right? So this is all about the explanation of your program 1. Thank you for watching.